Good morning, you beautiful people. Quickly want to show you what's interesting happening to the radishes. So the radishes that grew up a little bit is now shooting seeds, which on the one side I'm very happy about, because seeds obviously means more babies, but I think it's probably because they went through some stress. Check, that radish isn't necessarily big. That thing is maybe, let me just get my focus right here, 2-3 fingers wide, and they're already in seed. Younger or smaller ones, let me pull out one. Okay, that's not what you want to see. You want to see something bigger than that. So that's interesting. Radish is going to seed. Like to hear your opinions on that. Okay, then Beshi bought me loads of sunflower seeds, but I want to show you self-seeded sunflowers. These ones over here, these big ones over here, they all coming up from seed that fell from last year sunflowers. And so last year we planted sunflowers all over the place to increase the biomass, and it's worked tremendously all over the farm. We've got so much new biomass this year. Just look at this, for instance. This is not the sunflowers necessarily, this was sorghum. Check how much biomass that simple seeding has created. Loads and loads and loads of seeds. This is also volunteer sunflower here, growing next to this citrus that was struck down by the cold. So I'm thinking of planting that area there with bird seeds and sunflowers. The other thing obviously that we noticed is incredible growth in bird numbers. It's just crazy how much more birds we've got this year than the previous years. I think it's because of the green, water standing everywhere, and then obviously we've planted bags and bags filled with things that birds can eat. You can't buy sunflower seeds, but you can buy bird seed and mixes. So we bought mixed bird seeds and we planted that, thanks to Mikon last year, and now thanks to Beshi this year we'll be planting way more. We've harvested some of the seeds, we're going to plant those again, including new seeds. Then this papaya probably did the best from all of our papayas. We built a little house around it. I think we're going to do that again with more papayas. We've got plenty in bottles, like 20 little papayas in bottles, and we're going to have grow up, maybe plant them next year, not this season yet. Our mulberry that we trimmed up there is putting on so much seed, which is fantastic. That mulberry there is doing well. Our prickly pears all over the farm is now just exploding with growth. They are just putting up leaves everywhere. Now last year, as soon as the leaves sort of turned into an okay way, I harvested them to plant them. This year I'm gonna wait the full season. I'm only going to be harvesting next year, maybe June, July, to plant more. This year I'm gonna wait for them to mature a lot more. But all of these ones in this fruit forest is growth that we harvested more or less last year this time. And so they was like basically laying dormant for almost a year, maybe growing a little bit of fruits. And now they will be exploding. This one, if you'll see within the next couple of days, is going to be exploding. There's some radishes coming up around it. I see it needs a bit of water. There's beetroot next to this prickly pear. This is so sad for me. This is my pomelo. And last year the bugs just kept on eating everything on top. And then the cold came and it died back to about here. And I see luckily there's some new life coming down up sorry, above the place where it was inoculated. So I think that's a good thing. Some more birdseed sunflower like things coming up here. This year will be the year of cold-tolerant trees, apples, peaches, cherries, sorts of stone fruit, things like that. This is Lucas's vegetable garden. It actually looks quite grand. I overseeded the carrots completely. I have to get away to do the carrots in a nice fashion. But there's some carrots. Further in is some radishes. My wife asked me, why aren't these people taking out these thistles, these things? I said, you know, when you spend 90% of your time telling people not to take things out, they tend to not take things out. So we'll chop this off just above the root, use it as mulch and keep it from spreading on the farm. But we're gonna leave the root in, and if it wants to regrow, we'll just cut it again. This is a sausage tree, fantastic tree as well. Cold got to it, even though we did build a house around it and did everything. But I'm so glad to see new life coming up there and there and there. So that makes my life happy. Somebody asked me about the speck that I planted in one of my very first videos that I made during when I started vlogging about a year ago. This was the site where we planted them. As you can see, nothing is left. Could be two reasons. This is a river. It was flooded for a while. The water was standing, so it could have been getting rotten, or the drought or the cold might have gotten it. There is speckboom in a couple of other places in the garden that did survive. They were planted on berms. What I'm going to do this year is plant speckboom into pots, have them grow roots and have them grow strong before I plant them out. I think trying to cultivate them out in the bush is just a little bit too much. There's just too narrow margin of error. So I'm going to do the same as I'm doing to those strangling figs. Grow them strong in pots, and you use less water that way and you have better control. So we're going to do maybe a couple hundred speckboom elephant trees this year. Now this is the friendly forest. Now as I show you the state of the friendly forest, just quickly want to tell you about the speckboom. They are excellent nitrogen fixers, excellent fodder, drought and wet tolerant. They do okay in cold, so it is a fantastic tree. Okay, so this is elephant grass growing in the zypets. I wonder if you can see that on the camera. There's a little berm there in the back, and then a little hole there, and then the same there's a little berm there and a little hole in front. Now obviously this is a completely different picture from 1 year ago. We have added so much biomass to this area. You can see the remnants of the legumes that was planted here last year. Beans, cowpeas that was planted here last year. Elephant grass growing here. Now this thing, there's a swale coming from the road there, going around that way, and then coming this way on contour, and then so it harvests the water from the road, and then it drops it here, and then that feeds the friendly forest. I think there's about 40, I hope I'm not lying, 40 mulberry trees in here for now. There's a couple of other trees as well. They're definitely not doing as well as the mulberries. I see the mulberries as a starter tree. Once the mulberries have been established, we'll be able to plant other trees as well here. Now last year we had these little zypets, just little square holes dug so the water can rest into them, and we planted them with cowpeas. This year I've got a new toy that I bought recently. My tool business has exploded. I am so extremely blessed. We are renting out construction tools, but during this explosion and my focus on the business, I was able to buy an auger that digs pole holes. So one of the bits is 200 millimeters wide, so just a little bit less than that, and so I'm thinking of digging small holes and maybe either filling them with compost and planting pumpkins all over the farm, or doing the cowpeas again. It would be nice to hear your thoughts on it. It would make our lives a lot easier this year. We'll be able to dig loads and loads more holes, I think, faster. Let me know how you would use the tool if you were in my situation, and if you were planning on building a food forest across your farm. Okay, then outside of the Damien's food forest, we recently planted, you can see there's a little zypet there, or not a zypet, we call them African smiles, but an old one. And I strive to make my farm look like a cookie, like a muffin pan, you know, lots of holes where water can rest always. But this is one just outside of campsite. You cannot see it there, but there's loads of charcoal and worm compost in there. We recently planted a acacia just outside of it. I see now that the horses have taken a bite out of it. Wonder if I can get that in focus. So okay, so I'll put some thorn trees around that. It was in a pot, it was miserable. We planted it just outside here by the campsite just to get some more shade in the future around the campsite. That was supposed to be a mulberry tree. One of my friends said you need to plant a mulberry tree here, and I wanted to plant a mulberry tree there with his name on it, but the horses will eat it, so I wanted to plant something, and that turns out to be acacia. All over the farm, first year ever, we have probably 100 lianas coming up everywhere. The bugs are coming back, so the light in the chicken coop will definitely need to be reinstated. We've got insects coming up everywhere now, moths and mosquitoes and things at night that we haven't had for a couple of months. So we need to get that light up and working again in the chicken coop. And so lianas are coming along splendidly. I'm so grateful for that. They will add loads of biomass, add loads of nitrogen, give us wood, give us fodder, give us protection from frost for crops under it. Morning, Ims. How are you? Lekker, man. Morning, Marimi. Okay, I think that's going to be the end of my story. Quickly going to tell the guys what I want them to do. I hope you have a wonderful day.